Yeah, she been there for me from beginning to end. But
Yeah.
the situation was, I thought that I was justified in what I was doing, but after thinking about the situation, I realized that I really wasn't. I could have avoided it, but a situation occurred between me and a guy over a female that did not belong to either one of us. And so the guy came at me with a bat, and I didn't run.
Hmm.
I decided that my best course of action was to attack him before he could hit me with the bat. But before doing that, I did try to walk away. I tried to walk to the side. He cut my path off. Then I walked to the other side, cut my path off. And in that moment, you know, people have fight or flight reactions to things. And I fought. The judge said that it was excessive. He said that really, to be honest, I could have done worse than what I did, but I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was trying to basically just defend myself, to be honest. But they didn't see it that way because he got severely injured. He ended up fracturing his cheekbone and eye socket, and I didn't know that I did all that damage. I didn't. It was on videotape. They could see that I did not stump him or anything. I probably hit the guy about 10 times, but I don't know why he was so frail, or I don't know. I didn't punch him with full force, or maybe I did. I don't know, but he got hurt. Maybe I had some anger inside of me that I didn't know at the time, and I don't know. But that's how the situation played out. And the judge said that it was excessive. Said that the damage was excessive. Said my actions was excessive, and he was right that I could have avoided the situation, because what I could have done was go back into the young lady's apartment that I came out of, but I didn't. I told myself what a lot of young people tend to do today. Oh no, he ain't about to try me. So I felt like he was trying me, and that's what I thought was the best course of action. But I didn't know it was gonna cost me 10 years of my life, 7
So
in confinement. That's how long I
I'm
was in
torn.
prison. Huh?
I'm torn. I'm torn on that story, because this, like, as you say, he was coming at you with the weapon, and I feel in that point in time you're entitled to stand your ground, because that's what people have been saying who've been shooting black people, black kids, that they've been standing their ground. They felt that fear for their life, and you defended yourself, and so
And there was video
I have
evidence, but I I felt like this was something personal, and maybe it wasn't, but I felt this way because the judge sat in the courtroom, and this was something that they did that I didn't know that they do. But the judge, he would read off the history of the people who are being convicted. So there was a couple of other guys in there getting ready to be convicted or catching their time, as they would say, like I was. They called off these guys' history and their rap sheet and things that they had been involved in. This was my only incident. So I'm not a career criminal. You ain't had to see me in front of you for 3, 4, 5 times. Like, no. So I don't understand where the leniency was. I could have went in the program. Anything could have happened. He read off a lot of things that sounded positive, but yet you decided to give me 10 years with 7 to serve in confinement. And that's when I felt like it was something personal, because there was other people in the courtroom who had done things far worse than me and were career criminals who didn't get nowhere near the time that I got for things like shooting people. Come on, if you shoot somebody, then there's no question if you're trying to harm them. You can see on this videotape that this guy comes at me with a bat. Yet I'm the one that's in the wrong. I didn't understand that until I started paying more attention. It's all about financial gain for our judicial system in America now. And so because I did not have the money to pay my way out of this situation, I got handled any kind of way. Had I had the money, then it would have been a whole different story. Or I hate to say, but had I been a different color, then maybe this would have been different as well. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't rub anybody the wrong way, but that's how I feel about the
It,
Well,
situation.
according to the NAACP, you know, um, rates of African Americans being imprisoned versus white, uh, depending on where you look, it's 5 times more. So you're speaking truth.
that I don't know that frustrates. Like I don't know that just angers me because of the fact that there have been people that wasn't minding their own business. Like you have a George Zimmerman that goes after somebody and he gets the stand your ground defense, or there's somebody. Well, there was a guy that said that I felt because they were playing violent music that they was going to come after me, and he was able to shoot somebody,
Yeah.
and was able, and that was the defense. But somebody on video coming at you with the with a bat and you still get 10 years. I thought that's the crap that only happened like in the movie for Con Air or some crap. Like that.
Also,
I,
I didn't have a lot of people there to like support me in that situation or that moment. So it was like my life is in the hand of, again, the state. So if had I had like family or other people that would be there, not only would that probably would have went different, but just being in prison different. I mean, being in prison, period. I noticed that the people who have a lot of family support, they get treated differently. They go to different camps. They sent me to a camp my first my first 6 months, and it was nothing but death all over that place. And I had no business being there at a place like that. It was almost like they wanted me to get in a situation where I would have to either defend myself, and they wouldn't have had no understanding towards me defending myself. A lot of those guys in there, they never getting out of prison. They don't care about a lot of stuff. So if you got something that they want, or you look at them the wrong way, they ready to stab you. They ready to do all types of stuff. And you either gonna do one or two things. You either gonna let them do whatever they gonna do to you, give them whatever they want, or defend yourself. And sometimes it ain't even about them getting anything from you. They just trying to earn respect, or it's a lot of gang activity. So what is a person supposed to do in a situation like that? You mean to tell me this was something else that the judge said that bothered me a lot? He insinuated that I should have let the guy hit me with the bat. Who
World.
on earth? Who on earth would? He's saying that I would have been in the right had the guy hit me with the bat. So if I let him hit me with this bat, not only could that possibly mean death for me, but if I do survive all types of operations, and I could be a vegetable. No, man, I don't know where you came from, but I started to ask him what he had and let him hit her with the bat, but I felt like that probably would have made the situation worse. But you know, a lot of those judges and stuff, a lot of them self-righteous. No,
I
it's a lot of things I could say about, like I said, about the judicial system, but it'll be a conversation for forever.
Um,
I've seen a lot of stuff, man, a lot of injustice, and a lot of people overlook. A lot of times people get railroaded and they get done wrong because they just don't know how the law works. And the lawyers and the public defenders and the judges, they do, and they use that to their advantage. They'll hold you in jail for years until you're tired of being in that predicament, and then come at you with a plea because they know you've been softened up now. It was my roommate when I first got in county. He had been in the holding cell for 5 years, waiting just to be tried or to come before a judge. How do you do that? And that's because he didn't have the money to get himself where he needed to be. The people who got the funds, they can get whatever done that they need to get done. You don't got no
so
money though, they're gonna handle you.
all right. So have a question. If you could go back and tell yourself to run, would you do it?
Man,
Would you tell
yeah,
yourself?
yes, I don't care. My mindset is different now. See, now I know that the coward move was what I did. Not it would have took a bigger man to say, you know what, I'm gonna go back this way. I got other things that I gotta handle. I got more responsibility out here. But to be honest, I wasn't mature enough at the time. I was not mature enough.
I can't,
I felt like I had to do. I had to.
I
So
can't,
yes,
I don't know. For me, just being real. Like I can't agree with that statement. Like I know that's your truth now, but I feel if somebody's coming at you with a weapon, you don't owe them the respect to back down. Like you shouldn't have to turn away or run. And actually, that is part of the stand
you're
your
right
ground.
about that.
That's part of the stand your ground defense, though. Like
Yeah.
they say you don't have to retreat in order to stand your ground. Like I do not get that. Like that. Like I can't get behind that. Like I understand. Like I understand your reason because you've had that self reflection, but I don't know. That that was beyond me.
I mean, now because of what I've gone through, yeah, I feel like yeah, I'm definitely going the other way because I don't want to go through that. I wouldn't wish prison on my worst enemy. And it's a lot of guys who've been in that situation for far longer than I've been in. And surprisingly, I've met a lot of guys who've been in there for 20, 30 years who still have sane mind. But there's a more than the majority, they lose their minds in that place, man. You have to become a whole different type of person in that sort of environment. I'm glad I don't have to be that person no more. I did a lot of stuff that I I know I wouldn't have to do out here. I can walk away from a lot of situations, and there's situations that I can't walk away from because I would have to deal with it every day or all the time, and I'm a nip it in the bud person. You're not gonna keep bothering me. You're not gonna take nothing that I got and think you can come and get whatever I got whenever you feel like it. No, we're gonna get this out of the way right now. And after a while of
so
doing that, I kind of build a reputation up, and then after that, people just start leaving me alone. So, but
so
for
that
the
first
most part,
that
as long as when a problem comes your way in there, you don't shy away from defending yourself or standing your ground. Sometimes you'll have a lot of guys in there who will say, "Hey man, leave him alone. He don't bother anybody." I'm one of those people. I became one of those people like, "Hey man, don't mess with him. He's not bothering anybody." But there are a lot of gang members, a lot of people, surprisingly, contrary to what people may believe, who don't always want all of that nonsense to go on. So when they see it, if they can see it, if it's in the open, they stop it.
Hmm.
Contrary to what people believe about being in that place, because if one person gets hurt too bad, the first thing they're gonna do is bring the heat down on the whole dorm, and nobody wants to deal with that.
so what was that first day like? Like what is that like?
First day, man, I was scared out of my mind. I'm gonna be honest, I was scared out of my mind because at first I was expecting it to be like movies or something like that. I was expecting it to be people like, oh, fresh meat. I ain't hear fresh meat not one time. My whole bid, I ain't hear fresh meat not a single time. I ain't have to worry about no problems in no shower or none of that stuff that people be thinking be happening. But yeah, I was expecting stuff to be kind of crazy. So I'm standing with my back against the wall. You know, you got certain people. I got people in my family who been in prison. So just thinking about stuff that they done said or how they had to conduct themselves, you know, I get in tough guy mode. I'm like, hold on, ain't nobody about to touch me. Like, you know, you got to fix your face a certain way.
Say it with your chest.
One of them tough guy faces. Yeah. So
Man,
yeah,
so
but it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. It was not that way at all.
hmm. What? hold on, make sure. So there's another question in the chat. Um, what would you change in the system, and what do you want to do or see in the future change in foster care and the prison or legal justice system? So that's like three
Okay,
different
well,
questions.
I'm gonna start with where it's been a while since I've been in care, and to my knowledge and understanding, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed, and I'm not familiar with some of the things that are still occurring. So I don't want to make any assumptions that some things haven't already been changed. And in that
Hmm.
aspect, it's been a while since I've been in that in that field of having knowledge of what's going on in care and what the kids need. I haven't been to any events where to speak to any youth. So but the problems that I had, for some reason, I feel like I'm outdated. I'm a dinosaur now, so they probably done got to all those problems. I mean, I couldn't really say. I guess I would say that if they haven't already changed, if they haven't already changed the process that they go about in deciding if a young man or young woman is fit to be out on their own and care, like they should either do some type of assessment, or they should be better about resources that they give them if they do decide that they're fit to go out into the world on their own. But to be honest, you when you get 21, sometimes up to 25, you still not prepared for how the world goes, and like it's so much that's changing in the world. And to be honest, in my opinion, most foster kids are not as equipped as they should be compared to the normal youth that's out living with their parents and stuff. They get a chance to be exposed to a lot of different things. They're not as equipped. You have some who actually go to great placements and whatnot, where they're allowed to learn all that they can learn. But just from my experience, man, it's a lot of limitations on a lot of different things. But I'm hoping that as far as like getting driver license and just being able to go out and interact and I guess like something as simple as a sleepover, building social skills. A lot of my friends in foster care, you know where they at right now that I grew up with in foster care and in the group homes? Most of them are in prison. And you know what's bad? They got life sentences because they didn't know how to cope out in the real world. And to be honest, the group homes that I went to, they were kind of like a small prison. It's like they was grooming us to become prison. Some of the places that I went to, it was kind of just like that. I can remember
Mm.
some of the places being exactly how prison was. And so when you don't have the right social skills to be able to adapt in certain situations, then it's tough when you go out into the regular world and try to interact with people. You don't know that what you're doing is not the right way to do things. You don't know that that's not the right way to talk to people. You don't know that there's a better way to explain things that you're saying. You don't have to be so aggressive. They don't even think that they're coming off aggressive with some of the stuff that they say or some of their actions. You think that you gotta be a gangbanger or you gotta sell drugs or you gotta do these things over here that's more acceptable. Like it was crazy, man. Just about everybody, all my friends from foster care, they all in prison, man. I met a lot of them in prison.
Jeez,
Wow.
man, that's
And they got life sentences. Most of them got life sentences. They never come home. One of my best friends, he ain't never getting out.